It's been 7 years since their daughter was raped. She was murdered. Nirbhaya's parents have run pillar to post to get justice for their daughter. The Patiala House Court is currently hearing Nirbhaya's parents' plea seeking immediate hanging of all the 4 convicts in the rape and the gruesome murder case. The court will now be passing an order shortly. In any moment now. It is supposed to be 3:30, but they are running about 30 minutes late. The court will be passing an order now. We are waiting and standing by for this order, and will also be speaking to all the convicts via video conferencing. No hearing or plea is pending at the moment in any court now, which now clears the way for the Patiala House Court to issue a death warrant. In the last 1 month, at least 3 petitions in the Supreme Court, High Court and Patiala House Court were dismissed. One of the 4 convicts also ended up approaching the court, seeking reprieve by stating that he was a juvenile at the time of the crime. This petition was dismissed by the Delhi High Court. So far, all the legal options have been explored by the convicts. The only option left for them is to file a mercy petition in case a court issues the death warrant. So we're standing by just a few minutes from now, and the order on the death warrant is awaited anytime now, in just moments from now. Stay with us.
आज के डेट में उनके पास कोई रेमेडी या कोई उनकी अपील पेंडिंग नहीं है, तो हम उम्मीद करते हैं कि जो हमारा 7 साल का संघर्ष रहा है, आज उनका पटियाला कोर्ट हाउस में उनका डेथ वारंट कोर्ट जारी करेगी और उनको अब जल्द से जल्द फांसी होगी और हमें इंसाफ मिलेगा।
Okay, we've got breaking news coming in right there. The judge has arrived for the video conferencing is what we've picked up in the Nirbhaya hearing, and he's going to be speaking to Nirbhaya rapists via video link. Delay. This order was supposed to come out about half an hour ago, about at 3:30 p.m., but it's 14:02 by the watch, 16:02 by the watch, I beg your pardon. We're just waiting for this particular order. The judge has finally arrived for the video conferencing, and the judge is going to be speaking to Nirbhaya's rapists via video link. The Nirbhaya verdict will be pronounced via video conferencing anytime now. Standing by for that order to come out of the Patiala House Court. If we've got our reporters with us, all right, we've got Kamaljeet with us who's getting us the latest. Kamaljeet, what's the reason for this particular delay?
Well, believe it or not, when India claims of 3G, 4G, even 5G, the judge is awaiting internet connection to Tihar jail. Sounding as bizarre as it may be, the delay in historic judgment is only on account of internet connectivity. So that also speaks volume. But coming down to the merits of the case, remember there were arguments which were made in Patiala House Court today. This is obviously finally closing doors as far as the options for convicts are concerned. Last minute arguments being made on curative petition by the amicus curiae Brinda Grover. She made an appeal that is an option which should be made available to the convicts. This is something that the human rights activists have been demanding as well, but this was not cutting ice with either Nirbhaya's parents who were present at the court. Remember, there was a drama even inside with Mukesh Singh's mother breaking down, talking about an appeal, talking about a mother's sentiment, but that is where Nirbhaya's mother, Asha Devi, also came in saying, think about me, I'm also a mother. So yes, 2 mothers had to be calmed down by the court, and finally it is up to the judge who will be announcing very shortly first to the convicts through the video conferencing. We've been told in some time from now that connection will be established and it will be done. The matter about curative petition is where things got stuck. There were arguments and counter arguments, but it didn't seem to really cut much ice. But remember, if black warrant is issued today, as several indications are, perhaps then the time seems to be running out for the convicts, the rapists of Nirbhaya, and finally it does seem they'll be running out of not just petitions but also a mercy appeal. And finally, in the next 14 days is some time that we can perhaps then see hanging by death. But at this point of time, clearly the onus is on the judge as well as the court to pronounce that sentence first to the convicts. And this has been a historic case. We've heard earlier bizarre arguments regarding air pollution being made by one of the convicts' lawyers, Akshay Kumar, who said that there's enough air pollution. The convicts are in any case dying. So this is a last minute clutching onto the straws. Arguments being made, curative petition.
And one can only imagine what kind of plight Nirbhaya's mother is going through at the moment, knowing that it's been 7 years and there's been no justice in sight for her daughter. We've almost entered a new decade. We've actually entered a new decade, I beg your pardon, and still there's been no justice. So today, finally, there is a hope, rather, that there would be a final nail put in the coffin by the Patiala House Court in Delhi.
Well, yes. In fact, Nirbhaya's case is a textbook case, but more than that, this is a historic case. Remember, the law was named after Nirbhaya. There was mass protests right here at India Gate. Thereafter, the protests reached not just North Block, but the Parliament. And then there was a change in law and a much more stringent law. And after that, we've seen the lawmakers really coming into action. But here is a case which has taken, despite the sort of fury that we saw on stage, the remedy and the process of law has taken 7 years. When we talk about fast-tracking case, the most infamous case in that particular sense is Nirbhaya's case, and in which there is a delay of 7 years. Obviously, when the Hyderabad case happened and there were allegations of fake encounter, remember Asha Devi was one of the proponents where they said quick justice needs to be done for the families, because for each hearing, for each plea, the family dies a little more because they have witnessed not just a heinous crime, but the sort of sordid details which really came out. That has touched the very core of the soul. But in that particular sense, the law has taken its own course, and it's taken 7 long years, and finally it's come to Patiala House Court after all remedies were exhausted, after the trial court, and remember the High Court, the Supreme Court, and finally the mercy petition being rejected.
And we're also getting those live flashes. I want to draw the attention of our viewers to the live flashes that are coming in on the Nirbhaya case hearing, which is begun via the video conferencing as well. All 4 Nirbhaya's convicts have been connected via the video link. That's the story that we're breaking at the moment. The judge is speaking to convict Mukesh as we speak. So minute-by-minute updates getting updated right here first on India Today. Kamaljeet still with us. Kamaljeet, now as far as these rapists are concerned, the only recourse that they perhaps have is a mercy petition. They have a mercy plea with the president, and that's it. And after that, we can safely have justice for Nirbhaya, and all depends now on what the court orders.
First of all, let me tell you, the hearing has again begun. In a new twist, the judge has asked whether they can actually hear him all clearly. The judge also asked Mukesh, one of the convicts, whether he wants to keep ML Sharma as a lawyer or he wants ML Sharma to represent him. Again, Akshay has asked the judge for permission to speak, saying media reporting something wrong. So media persons have been asked to leave the courtroom. That's a sudden twist there. But again, at this point of time, since this case has been in the eye of the controversy for very long, remember, everybody's waiting for the judgment. It's taken 7 long years, and even despite the security scenario here, remember, it is something that all eyes of the country really are on. Obviously, we do expect judgment in some time, but it's the arguments which we've made in the court at the last minute talk about curative petition, arguments being made by MS Cure, Brinda Grover. There was also a talk about the individual lawyers, the AP Singh and ML Sharma, who also said and seconded that they wanted to file curative petition. But all legal remedies still available to the convicts. But finally, it's the doors which are really closing in, the wheels of justice finally moving. We've also heard in cases where there's been a talk that perhaps an appeal to rapists should not be given so many chances. They cannot take forever to file a petition because that gives them more time. But these men are now clutching onto the straws whatever argument being made in the court, and remember the judgment is going to be announced any point of time. And
yes, we're waiting back for those judgments, but the latest updates on your screens at the moment, viewers. There's huge drama in the courtroom at the moment. The media has been asked to leave the courtroom as well. One of the convicts has said that there is a parallel media trial going on, and the media has then been asked to leave the courtroom. There's drama in courtroom. Akshay is alleging a media trial. As bizarre as it sounds, he's a convict and alleging a media trial. The media at the moment has been asked to leave the courtroom, and the order is going to be out any moment now. Kamalji, the legal recourse for these rapists is what I was talking about earlier as well. There is one chance of a curative petition that they can end up filing. In case that is rejected, they have the option of a mercy petition. These are the only two options that are left.
Well, yes, at this point of time, yes. But remember, we still have to await the court order, because that will clarify a lot of things for us. Whether one, the black warrant, because remember, when the judge is asking whether ML Sharma can represent Mukesh or whether Akshay is talking about misrepresentation, so the court is actually hearing them out. This is a last minute plea that is being made. But remember, yes, Akshay has been is been speaking, and he's saying that he's innocent. So there's talk about misreporting, but it's, yes, the merits of the case is not decided by reporting. They've been decided on the merits of the case by the arguments made, especially based on the evidence. But yes, once the court makes that judgment, it will be very clear whether a black warrant is issued or not today. And it seems like the courts, one after the other, the way it's gone, it does seem, and indications are that black warrant would be issued in some time, and perhaps the next 14 days will be very crucial. They've obviously run out of options at this point of time, but the legal remedy is available to all convicts till they are actually hanged. Till the day of hanging, they have that options. But Vrinda Grover making an argument that is one of the options. The curative petition option was not told to the prisoners, and that is why. However, Nirbhaya's lawyer has not been buying the argument, saying that Vrinda herself has been representing the case in December 2018, and now that there's been enough delay, there was enough time that they could have filed the curative petition. This is only buying more time. There is a delay, but remember, the court will have to weigh all its options.
Let's just get this right. This whole drama around one of the convicts going on to say that there is a parallel media trial, the media being asked to leave the courtroom and all of this prima facie look like delaying tactics on the part of the convicts.
राष्ट्रपति के पास कोई भी याचिका लंबित नहीं है, इसलिए डेथ वारंट जारी करने में कोई दिक्कत नहीं है, इसलिए कोर्ट को सरकार इस मामले में.
Well, yes, conspiracy theories, as I said, these are clutching onto the straws when you start making arguments like this, because finally this is not going to actually cut any eyes. The case is decided on the merit. It is based on investigation. It is based on evidence. It's based on the charge sheet. It goes through a trial. There's enough period given. The process of law has been followed. Why at this point of time, why in the Supreme Court did Akshay actually or his lawyer really say that the pollution is in any case killing convicts? So that is not really going to cut eyes. What will, however, stand in the court of law is the evidence which has been produced and whatever arguments have been made. So yes, that has been concluded. So yes, we do await the verdict. And remember, the way the precedent has been, one after the other, whether it's the trial court to the High Court and even Supreme Court, and even going to Delhi government and MHA, and finally the president is being rejected from all quarters. So there is no way that we can say that there is a leeway available. So these convicts are now just clutching onto the straws. These are last minute arguments which are being made by the convicts. This is just to buy out time, let me tell you. But yes, legal remedies is something they can really harp on and rely on. But again, this is obviously a countdown in a certain sense that yes, in some time from now, that in next 14 days, if the black warrant is issued, since the black warrant is issued, they would have that particular time. But after that, their their future is sealed in a certain sense. It's the last
For
nail in the
justice is
coffin.
killing. This
You
wait for
understand that?
justice is absolutely killing, not just to the parents who have first-hand gone through what their daughter has gone through, knowing the plight of their daughter, losing their daughter over this gruesome gang rape and murder, but for the entire nation who respects the judiciary and looks towards the judiciary as the last resort of getting some sort of justice in this country. And now finally you've got the order that is awaited. It is about to be come out. This wait for justice is something which is going to be very harsh on the parents of Nirbhaya as well. At the moment, just to bring our viewers up to speed, the convict Akshay has targeted the media. He has said that there's a media trial on. The court is going to be pronouncing a verdict on the death warrant at the moment. The media has been asked to leave the courtroom after Akshay targeted the media, claiming false reportage, and the court now is waiting by to for the court to pronounce the verdict on this particular case. Any moment now. It was 45 minutes delay already. 3:30 is when the order was supposed to come out. It's 4:15 p.m. by the watch, and any moment now we are going to get that news break. So stay with us here on India Today for second by second updates coming in right here. Kamaljeet, it's been such a long while. Will this wait for justice end? That's the only question on the minds of the entire nation, not just the parents of Nirbhaya.
दिखता है कि कोई भी इस पक्ष में होगा, देश का आम जनमानस इस पक्ष में होगा, तो निर्भया के साथ जो
Well, even to a common man, just like as Nirbhaya's parents, the wait has been way too long. But the due process of law has to be followed, because this is what the procedure is. We've been talking about the amending of laws in CRPC and IPC, and eventually that will come. They're saying they want to make sure that the sentence is harsher, that there is obviously a change. But yes, whatever the country has seen since 2012, many have obviously, when there were suggestions which were sought, many said that death is not a deterrence. But in this particular case itself, from a common man to a parliamentarian, everybody said the harshest of punishment. This is counted as rarest of the rare case, the sort of heinous crime which was witnessed by the country on the 16th of December in 2012, very clearly upset a common man and a woman on the street. And this is where the court was touched. And eventually, based on the evidence on the sort of charge sheet which was put by Delhi police, remember, there were crowds who were baying for blood, but that's not the case in India. This has gone through the law, the due process of law, and obviously, finally it's come back to Patiala House Court, where obviously a fair chance is given, a fair trial is given, and the last moment clutching onto straws is something, because remember, the arguments currently being made by the convicts, the time that they're breathing now, it could be all over in a matter of days. So that is why, as if the life depends on it, is literally the case for them, because the arguments that they're making is the one with either strikes a chord or it doesn't. But obviously it is left to the judgment, the judge itself. And yes, in some time from now, and we've seen the past precedent, not one way was there a leeway that there could have been a possibility that these men were innocent. The trial has been there. The trial has been widely reported as well. Now, whatever they've been talking about, that there has been a misrepresentation, is obviously one of those delaying tactics. Perhaps will not cut much ice, but we'll have to see as to how the court finally takes it forward. And in any case, it does seem the days are numbered as far as these convicts are concerned. Finally, it will from the time of the judgment, the days will be numbered, and justice for Nirbhaya will finally be put.
Absolutely, we're all waiting for justice for Nirbhaya, not just Nirbhaya's parents, but every common man in this nation, every woman is waiting for justice to come by for Nirbhaya. But there's a lot of theatrics that is going on the part of the convicts right there. The judge is speaking to them on video conferencing as well, and one of the convicts, Akshay, has targeted the media, saying that the media is the one conducting false reportage on this, following which the media has been asked to leave the courtroom. The four convicts, as we speak, are speaking to the judge via video conferencing. 3:30 p.m. is when we were to know the final order coming in from the Delhi's Patiala House Court, but there's been a delay of over 45 minutes now. We're standing by, we're waiting by for the verdict any point now. The Nirbhaya court order on the rapists is going to be coming out any moment now. Kamaljeet is bringing us the very latest now. Kamaljeet, what is causing this delay? Initially, there was that connection with the video conferencing and internet issues. Finally, they established the connection. The judge was speaking to the convicts in Tihar jail as well. At the moment, what is going on inside the court?
Well, the time was scheduled for 3:30 when the verdict was supposed to come in. But remember, there was a delay on account of internet connectivity. After that, there were accusations and allegations being made by Akshay, one of the convicts, one of the rapists of Nirbhaya, who said fair reporting was not done, that there was a conspiracy. But yes, once the verdict is announced, remember, this is one of those cases which has not seen in-camera trial per se. So in that particular sense, we do expect the verdict to reach out shortly. In that sense, we are also waiting where there are banners and posters just outside the court where it says warrant after warrant. But that's not the case in this particular matter, because the moment from now onwards is also a time which seems to be running out as far as the sentence carried out. We are talking about the verdict as far as Nirbhaya's case is concerned, a historic case in many sense, a law coming after that. But this case is a test case. This is where India has been awaiting justice, just like the family. But yes, the family has had a very difficult time. The narrative, remember the Nirbhaya fund, everything has emerged from there. But that particular case itself may be something that India has been watching out for. But for her parents, they've lived through hell for the past 7 years. They're awaiting justice, and that final closure will only be once there is a death warrant and once hanging take place. This is obviously after due process of law, due deliberation has been done, and equal measure legal
death warrant is going to be coming out any time now. Stand by. 4 convicts speaking to judge via video conferencing, getting you all the updates from inside Delhi's Patiala House Court. First here on India Today. Convict Akshay has cried media trial during the hearing, and he's created a lot of theatrics. The media was asked to leave the courtroom as well. The verdict on the death warrant is going to be coming out any time now. The nation stands by, wanting to know what the verdict is going to be. And it's so close, yet it seems just so far away to get some sort of closure on these particular issues. Justice delayed is justice denied. And that is exactly how the parents of Nirbhaya would be feeling at this point of time. 7 whole years. It's been a very long haul for Nirbhaya's parents as well. And there was a lot of theatrics that we saw on the part of these 4 convicts who are speaking to the judge at the moment. Convict Akshay, of course, going on to blame media trial, going on to blame how media is doing false reportage. But will that cut ice with the judge or not? The order is expected any moment now. And justice for Nirbhaya is the only thing that is on every woman's mind, every common man's mind, and the minds of the parents who have waited for 7 whole years for a death sentence for the convicts of Nirbhaya. Kamaljeet, I'm going to throw across to you. If you could just give us the latest in terms of the top developments of what is happening inside the court at the moment as we stand by, wait for this judgment to come out.
Well, the countdown has already begun, so the verdict would have been announced. But yes, the reporters have been kept outside. But once the lawyers come out of the courtroom, that will be clear as to what verdict has been, because this is one of those trials where media has regularly reported. This has also been a test case, as I said, Nirbhaya case. There have been several cases like the Kathua rape case where there was an in-camera trial, but not in Nirbhaya's case. There is obviously a talk about how there are last-minute arguments being made, especially by convict Akshay. First, earlier in the case, in the court earlier, he had talked about air pollution killing the convicts. Then there is also an argument being made that the media trial is being done in the case. But as I mentioned to you, this has gone through the due process of law. There has been arrest, there has been evidence which has been put forth. There has been a charge sheet. So Delhi police has done its due diligence. There were arguments made in the court, and it's taken 7 long years for the court to really reach to this particular stage. And yes, even as we are waiting, there's a countdown which has already begun. So in particular sense, we've seen all one after the other, whether it is the court or for that matter the mercy plea being rejected very fast. So it's obviously there is a direction which has taken place in this particular matter, and in any point of time we do await the verdict, whether there would be some more delay or perhaps a black warrant could be issued today. It's something the country is looking at, but yes, very clearly the onus on the judge, who has listened to all sides. A last-minute plea regarding curative petition being made by the amicus curiae, Vrinda Grover. Her weight, her voice obviously holds weight, because remember, she's one of those who can actually have that power, a legal remedy which needs to be provided to the convicts. But again, even though that is done, finally the case towards its final closure in a particular sense, and in some days or in some days we would know whether that further legal remedy is actually available, because we've been told even once the black warrant is issued, there are legal remedies which are available. But finally, time seems to be running out. The sort of arguments being made out, some by the convict's mother, Mukesh's mother, who broke down in the court, talking about sentiment, but there has been another mother, Asha Devi, who stood very strong during the entire course. She's been speaking her mind, but this is obviously going to be a test case. This is something that all Indians have been waiting for, and the day is very near. That's what I can really tell you.
The day is very near. The moment, in fact, is very near, and never has time felt so long. A few minutes are also seeming very long as we are waiting for that final word coming in from the Delhi's Patiala House Court. One can only imagine the plight of the parents at this point of time, who have waited for 7 years to get justice for their daughter. At the moment, the convicts are speaking to the judge via video conferencing, with a big question still that looms large is, will this 7-year-long wait end or not? Justice for Nirbhaya, that remains to be our top focus. Any moment now, stand by viewers, the order is going to be coming in from the Delhi's Patiala House Court, and we're all standing by for that particular order to come by. Kamaljeet was just encapsulating all the high drama that is taking place inside the courtroom as well, which, by the way, seem to be nothing but delaying tactics by the convicts. But any moment now, we will see the order come out of Delhi's Patiala House Court. What next for the rapists? For the viewers who have just tuned in, Kamaljeet, if you can give us a sense of, if the court orders this particular execution, what next legal recourse lies in store for the convicts? It's been 7 years, and still, as a country, we have not been able to get justice for a girl who was raped and brutally raped and murdered here in the national capital.
Well, 7 years have gone by, and obviously it's been a struggle for Nirbhaya's parents, but there has been country support, and today itself, if the black warrant is issued, then they have just 14 days time left. Since then, they also have legal remedy available. But finally, it will be the mercy petition which will be decided once again by the president. It has been rejected earlier. And thereafter, remember, the black warrant will be issued. And after that, a 14-day period. And that period will perhaps give them another opportunity. But there is perhaps no room for delay now. That's what we've been told. Perhaps that's also what the nations have been saying. Because remember, at least a month ago, we heard that they could be possibly hanging on the 16th, but that was not the case. There is obviously a due process of law which is to be followed. Not many people who are laypersons who will understand that. But yes, all legal remedies, including a curative petition which has been argued by Vrinda Grover, by ML Sharma, and even AP Singh, who said we've been waiting for it. It is up to the court to decide on it. But after black warrant is issued, they have 14 days time. And finally, once the mercy petition is rejected, there is hanging by death. So those days are not very far away. 2020 is perhaps the time where the country, just like the parents, will witness closure on this particular case. This is also going to be a strong precedent for all other rapists. that this is the final outcome if there is a case similar to this. But many human rights activists and others have pinpointed, and even during Nirbhaya's case, remember when the suggestions were taken in, not many believe that death is a deterrent.
Okay,
But
so
that
any
is an
moment
argument
now,
not made-
that order is going to be coming out. It's been close to a 1-hour delay at the moment, but any moment now. Stand by here on India Today. We'll be breaking that order first here on India Today. Will this wait for justice end today? We'll continue tracking the story. You take a very short commercial.
Thanks for watching the video. For more such news and updates, please like, share and subscribe to India Today. Also check out our other great videos from our channel. We know you will love to.